Stellantis dealers are opting to abandon ship rather than dive into the electric revolution. As the push for EVs continues, many dealers are choosing to shut their doors rather than adapt. This raises a big question. What does this mean for Stellantis' future in the fast-changing automotive industry? With dealers reluctant to embrace electric vehicles and choosing to exit instead, it's clear there are compelling reasons behind their decision. So, let's look into the reasons behind this. Number 6. Dealers understand the EV market is coming down. There is a reason why Stellantis dealers are not particularly interested in selling electric vehicles, and that would be the current state of the EV market. The situation has been slowing down for a while now. After experiencing a couple of years of significant growth, things started to change last year. We are no longer witnessing the fast growth of the market. Instead, we are seeing a slowdown. This is not just our impression. The numbers support this observation. The first quarter of this year ended with a minor 2% growth compared to the same period last year. But there was also a significant 15.2% decrease when compared to the last quarter of 2023. Things stayed mostly the same in the second quarter. If we look at specific brands, Tesla is the best example. Tesla, which sells hundreds of thousands of EVs every quarter, saw a big 17.7% drop in sales in April. This strongly suggests that the market is changing. Some sources say Tesla's sales are currently down 14% compared to last year. Stellantis dealers know it's a little too late to start selling EVs now. They also know that older car companies are having an even harder time, even though some of them are proudly announcing record-high sales. These numbers might seem small, but the reality is that dealers have a lot of trouble selling electric cars. The demand is low, so the average number of days a car stays on the market has gone up a lot over the last few months. Current estimates suggest a 140-day supply of cars compared to the industry average of 70 days. So, we can see why dealers are hesitant to sell them. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, do well to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to show your support. If you've done that, let's continue. Number 5. No service money. This is a fairly general reason, but it applies to all dealers, no matter what brand or car maker they work with. Dealers don't like the fact that EVs require a different approach to car maintenance. With traditional cars, dealers could count on easy money from oil changes and other regular maintenance services. Electric vehicles don't need these services, so dealers lose out on that steady income. Additionally, brands that were once part of the Chrysler Corporation have never been known for their reliability. This means that dealers made a lot of money from repairs and maintenance. In other words, there was a lot of income that dealers have been generating through their repair shops. Now, things are about to change because EVs don't require regular maintenance like traditional cars. In general, EVs are more focused on electronics rather than mechanics. This means there isn't much mechanical work to do on them. Because of this, dealers would probably need to hire extra staff who specialize in EVs, and they would also have to pay a lot of money to train their current employees to work on EVs. In other words, their job is becoming more complicated. At the same time, the profit they make from their service shops is likely to go down. This is because there will be less work to do and fewer repairs needed on EVs, which means less money coming in from those services. Number 4. Aligning with customers' needs. Compared to other companies that have quickly embraced electrification, Stellantis has a different issue in the North American market. Most rival companies have strategies that include EVs designed to perform well globally. For Stellantis, it's a bit more complicated. It's not surprising that the company, which already has 25 EVs, plans to introduce 23 new all-electric models by the end of next year. These new models will include ones specifically designed to meet the needs of North American customers. The problem with the US and Canadian markets is the strong presence of traditional American car brands like Dodge and specific models like the Jeep Wagoneer. This vehicle isn't found in other parts of the world, so Stellantis has a special job of creating EVs for a very traditional customer base. Because of this, the company has already introduced all-electric prototypes of models like the Dodge Charger and Ram 1500. They are also working on an all-electric Wagoneer. The dealers know very well that it will be very tough to convince traditional buyers to swap their combustion cars with massive engines for electric vehicles. From the perspective of these traditional buyers, EVs still have a lot to prove to be considered worthy. After all, Stellantis already announced that, despite the initial plan to introduce electric versions only, the next generation Charger will also be available with a gas engine. This decision leaves significantly less room for the electric version to succeed because many buyers might still prefer the familiar gas engine option. This means dealers will face a challenging task in persuading customers to choose the new electric models over the traditional gas-powered ones. Number 3. Hybrids are everything now. Dealers know best what the current trends are and what customers want. It's not surprising that Stellantis dealers feel the same way GM dealers did when they asked for more hybrids. The market is leaning more towards hybrids than all-electric cars these days. Toyota is leading the market, but other manufacturers are also benefiting from the growth of the hybrid market, which is about 70% year over year. These days, Stellantis has reported a good 4% growth from one quarter to the next, with strong sales of plug-in hybrids like the Wrangler 4xe and Grand Cherokee 4xe. In other words, dealers now expect Stellantis to respond by introducing more models with the 4xe badge. This is because most customers prefer to take gradual steps and choose hybrids before switching to all-electric vehicles. Hybrids still have a couple of big advantages. They're not only cheaper, but they're also much more practical. One reason is that hybrids don't come with some of the major worries associated with electric vehicles, such as concerns about driving range and finding places to charge. Hybrids are already making up more than 9% of the U.S. car market, and with the current rate of growth, it's clear that their popularity will continue to increase, and they will become even more common in the near future. Number 2. EV market has changed. As we mentioned, hybrids are becoming more popular. This is part of a bigger change happening in the car market, especially in the EV sector. The types of customers are changing too. The days when EVs were seen as new toys for wealthy people are over. Now it's all about practical use, and this is where EVs struggle. They don't yet meet the needs of middle-class families or work well as the only car for a household. Since early adopters have already bought their electric cars, there is less room for new options. The truth is, electric cars still have problems. Their driving range can be a concern, and charging is still not quick enough. Plus, the reliability ratings for electric cars are much lower than people hoped. Above everything else, plug-in vehicles are still noticeably more expensive than traditional combustion engine cars. And what do you get in return for paying that extra price? Not much at the moment. Additionally, EVs require a big change in lifestyle, which many people are not ready to make. Dealers are very aware of this fact. Number 1. Stellantis won't sell EVs at a loss. When we compare Stellantis dealers to those of companies like Ford and GM, there is a big difference. Stellantis isn't pushing its dealers to sell electric cars like some others are. Instead, Stellantis is taking a more careful approach to electrification and doesn't want to force anything that could lead to big losses. The company's CEO, Carlos Tavares, has mentioned several times that they won't sell electric vehicles at a loss like some other car makers do. The key point is that, unlike other leaders in the industry, Carlos Tavares understands the market and how consumers are adopting EVs. He has stated that the company isn't pushing too hard with electrification, but also wants to ensure they make a profit from EV sales. In regions like Europe, the company is working steadily and already preparing for the next generation of vehicles. This careful and balanced approach shows that they are taking the time to understand the market and plan for long-term success with their EVs. Stellantis doesn't want to sell electric vehicles at a loss just to boost sales or meet emission standards, hoping that the electric vehicles will become profitable later. This approach puts Stellantis dealers in a better position compared to others. giving them a significant advantage in these uncertain times. Alright guys, we've come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, do well to click on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check other videos on our playlist. We've got some amazing content for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.